The year 2024 is not just any year. Remarkably, it's during this year that we'll start encountering unprecedented signs indicating we're closer than ever to Jesus' return, as predicted by the Bible for thousands of years. In this video, I'm not only sharing a heartfelt message of love and hope. What God has in store for you today goes far beyond that. This is a crucial warning about the events that have been unfolding around the world since the beginning of this year. Before we get started, I just want to ask you to subscribe to the channel. Click the subscribe button below the video and hit the notification bell so you'll get an alert whenever I post a new video. That way, I can help you in your walk with God. Let's begin. The first prophecy, the New World Order. Let's see what is written in Revelation 13. The dragon stood on the shore of the sea, and I saw a beast coming out of the sea. It had 10 horns and 7 heads, with 10 crowns on its horns, and on each head a blasphemous name. It was given power to wage war against God's holy people and to conquer them. And it was given authority over every tribe, people, language, and nation. Chances are, you've heard about the New World Order, possibly in religious sermons or Christian content online. This might lead us to believe that this topic is strictly religious, making it seem distant and, at times, even far-fetched. However, that's far from the truth. The New World Order is more real and tangible than you might think, and its influence extends to various aspects of our lives: legal, commercial, economic, technological, and even philosophical. It signifies an international political shift that aims to establish a universal constitution as its foundation, uniting everyone under a single system and a shared leader. The governance model of the New World Order is anticipated to gain significant momentum in 2024. Many world leaders view the current global landscape as a chaotic child in need of adult supervision. In essence, they believe there's a necessity for a responsible entity to oversee and manage everything and everyone. Recently, we've witnessed countries increasingly joining forces and establishing international alliances. These cooperative efforts could soon pave the way for a unified global leadership. A clear and recent example is the growing influence of the BRICS nations, an association consisting of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Their collaborative efforts focus on promoting mutual development, which could potentially contribute to the formation of a single, unified global leadership in the not-so-distant future. The bond between these nations is solidifying under their current governments, making it highly likely that 2024 will be a pivotal year for their collaborative efforts. Some members of this group are already advocating for the creation of a single currency to streamline transactions among their countries. This push for unity sets the stage for the prophecy in Revelation 13, foretelling the emergence of a leader who will wield authority over all nations, the Antichrist. So, when you see news reports or online content about countries joining forces in the name of mutual development, remember that it's not mere coincidence. Instead, it signifies the manifestation and fulfillment of ancient prophecies. God doesn't want you to be misled during these critical times. Every piece of news you hear about upcoming events is interconnected. No occurrence is isolated. Wars, alliances, and disputes are all part of the Lord's prophetic plan. You might be taken aback by the unfolding events this year and beyond, but rest assured, God is not caught off guard. Everything aligns with the divine blueprint laid out by the Lord, which Jesus discussed during his time on earth. So, whenever you come across a significant global event in the news, pause and reflect on its connection to the Bible's teachings. Ask yourself, how does this relate to what the scriptures foretell? The second prophecy, technological progress. Let's see another passage from Revelation 13. It also forced all people, great and small, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hands or on their foreheads, so that they could not buy or sell unless they had the mark, which is the name of the beast or the number of its name. This calls for wisdom. Let the one who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. That number is 666. We're all aware that technology is advancing at an astonishing pace, and it's only set to accelerate further in 2024, bringing innovations that will leave us amazed. Have you ever considered how what was unthinkable just 50 years ago has now become an indispensable part of our daily lives? While the rapid evolution of technology might have seemed unattainable in the past, it's essential to recognize that it aligns with biblical prophecies concerning the end times and Jesus' return. Among the myriad of technological advancements, one of the most significant developments is the monitoring system that tracks our every move. Today, there are smartphone apps that connect to your vehicle and monitor your whereabouts. Similarly, our financial transactions are increasingly digital, with economic technology enabling us to pay bills and make purchases without the need for physical cash. A credit card or mobile app suffices for our shopping needs. While this convenience might seem insignificant, it highlights the existence of an infrastructure primed for control, surveillance, and power. This framework could potentially allow a global leader to seize control of the finances of every person on Earth. This aligns precisely with what the Apostle John warned about concerning the mark of the beast. In this future scenario, only authorized individuals will have the ability to buy and sell goods. As previously mentioned, the situation is expected to escalate from 2024 onwards, including the rise of government-issued digital currencies. These digital currencies may be promoted as offering advantages to those who opt for them over physical cash, under the pretense of simplifying transactions and preventing theft. The transition away from traditional physical money is not solely driven by efficiency or security concerns. It also mirrors the world's progression towards global unification. A unified digital currency could lay the groundwork for an emerging leader to exert control over international trade. As this transformation unfolds, the puzzle pieces of end-time prophecies are falling into place more coherently. While these advancements might appear harmless and beneficial for our daily tasks today, starting from 2024, scientific developments are already poised to create superintelligent artificial entities capable of dominating the world and even waging wars. I'm not the only one raising this concern. Researchers from the Future of Humanity Institute, associated with the University of Oxford in the United Kingdom, share similar apprehensions. Another alarming warning from these experts is that such a superintelligent entity could independently create additional machines or systems and even self-improve, leaving humans without any control over them. For this disastrous scenario to unfold, this artificial superintelligence would need to be developed by an immensely powerful individual with a singular, ruthless objective: global domination. In biblical terms, this figure is known as the Antichrist. The purpose of this video is not to instill fear, but to emphasize the gravity of the situation. The devil is cunning, far more so than any human, and could indeed manipulate the scientific community into developing these technologies sooner than we anticipate. Never underestimate his influence. While we understand that the enemy can only act with God's permission, the Bible also reveals that this world is currently under the sway of evil. The third prophecy, apostasy. In 2 Thessalonians, the Apostle Paul issued a very important warning. See what he said. Concerning the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ and our being gathered to him, we ask you, brothers and sisters, not to become easily unsettled or alarmed by the teaching allegedly from us, whether by a prophecy or by word of mouth or by letter, asserting that the day of the Lord has already come. Don't let anyone deceive you in any way, for that day will not come until the rebellion occurs and the man of lawlessness is revealed, the man doomed to destruction. One of the most significant warnings about the end times concerns apostasy, the abandonment of faith. The Bible foretells a great falling away from God's teachings, and we're witnessing this occurrence unfold right before our eyes. Each day, An increasing number of people who identify as Christians and claim to have dedicated their lives to Jesus are forsaking him, as though they had never known him. Unfortunately, this trend is expected to worsen. There are numerous Christians who until recently actively preached in church services or participated in missions, but have now ceased living for Christ. Instead, they're pursuing the worldly pleasures that draw them further away from their faith. Some Christians are succumbing to addictions, while others are embracing promiscuity. Moreover, we're observing churches becoming increasingly lenient, incorporating practices that stray from their original teachings. Consequently, many believers are leaving their congregations. A concerning pattern is emerging, where worldly influences are seeping into the church, leading people to claim they're Christians without adhering to biblical principles. However, this assertion is highly contradictory. It's akin to saying, "I eat meat every day, but I'm a vegetarian." Regrettably, many individuals, including pastors and religious leaders, have demonstrated contempt for the sacred, embracing sin and disregarding holiness instead. The passion that numerous believers once held for the Lord has waned. The church has moved closer to the world, and in turn, the world has gravitated towards the church. All these developments lay the groundwork for the Antichrist's arrival, as he aims to deceive people by masquerading as the world's savior, promising peace and security for all. The fourth prophecy, decline of Christian values. The Apostle Paul brings us another prophecy of how people should behave when the end times are near. But mark this, there will be terrible times in the last days. People will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, without love, unforgiving, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not lovers of the good, treacherous, rash, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godliness but denying its power. Have nothing to do with such people. Love is rapidly dwindling in today's society, and this issue is not solely tied to the abandonment of faith in Jesus. It's also connected to the overall shift in people's conduct. As we approach the end times, moral decay and the erosion of social values are escalating daily. Betrayal, filicide, and parricide are becoming more prevalent, while leaders grow increasingly corrupt, disregarding the value of human life in their pursuit of wealth and power. Selfishness is also surging, as individuals prioritize their needs and desires above all else. This self-centered mindset is evident in various aspects of life, such as marriages lacking genuine companionship, where spouses prioritize their own needs over their partners. Even religious leaders may seek personal recognition over delivering the message they're meant to share. To counteract this, it's crucial to strengthen our relationship with God and ensure that our ego doesn't usurp the Lord's rightful place in our lives. Take time to reflect on any hidden sins you may be harboring from your spouse, family, or fellow Christians, and strive to abandon them as soon as possible. Living a double life is unsustainable and will inevitably lead to consequences. Sin is deceptive, luring us with the promise of freedom, but ultimately leading to enslavement. As time progresses, the urgency for vigilance intensifies. Global unification, technological advancements, the decline of faith, and the erosion of Christian values serve as warnings for us all. Clear signs that the end is near, and Jesus will soon return to gather those who have remained faithful while condemning those who disregarded his commandments and chose a sinful life. I believe that God didn't share this message with you today to instill fear or terror, but to encourage you to take a firm stand against the unfolding events. If you liked the video, please leave a comment and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and may God bless your life.